Good morning to one and all. This is Dr. P. Lavanya, working as Associate Professor in MBA Department and in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering in Dundigal. So in our previous videos, we have seen regarding the theories of firm. In that theories, we have three types of theories. One we have seen regarding the profit maximization theory, and second one is managerial theories, and third one is the behavioral theories. So in our last video, we have seen what is profit maximization theory and what sort of advantages, disadvantages and implications relating to the profit maximization theory has been completed. And the second theory comes under the managerial theories of the firm. So the managerial theories of the firm are places an emphasis on various incentive mechanisms which explains the behavior of the managers and its implications. Means already we have the second category, that is non-profit maximization, and this you got in a managerial theories. So where this managerial theories explains that what's in an individual or manager's behavior which will create a positive impact for an organization. So that's why the theory of the firm has taken into consideration managerial skills and the qualities are the one of the most important aspects which enhance the organization. So that managerial, this theory has been tells that what type of mechanism or incentive mechanism will be given to the behaviors of the managers and what are their implications relating to their conduct for the companies and which help us to identify them in a wider economy. Means what sort of behavior will create a positive impact upon the organization and that positive impact will be created by the conduct of a companies and how these companies will create economically a good impression upon the out of the company and creates a wider economy, means creating more impact or increased goods and services to the our GDP. So in this way, according to known that traditional theories, so already we have seen the traditional, classical, neoclassical and mid theories. So according to these traditional theories, the firm is controlled by the owners and the firm already runs, as we have seen, in a profit maximization, that is short-run profit. So every owner of the organization wishes that he want to accomplish what happens now. So short-term profits are those which will implicate or which will be provided for satisfaction of the present situation. So traditionally we know that what is the main aim of every organization means to earn the profits. So the owners of the organization will also see for this profit maximization only. So the more contemporary managerial theories has been come into the firm which examines the possibilities of the firm controlled by its owners, by its managers rather than doesn't aim at maximization of profits. Already we have seen that traditionally profits are very much important, but whatever the important in the contemporary means the present situation, the managerial skills or the managerial theories of the firm explains that the possibility of the firm has not 100% controlled by the owners of the organization. Why? Because as nowadays we ourselves are seeing that multinational corporations or maybe the shares type of businesses. So in these type of businesses, shares are the real owners of these companies, the private or the public companies. And these private or public companies, the owners will give their investment in the form of shares only. They doesn't control or internally they doesn't participate. But what the shareholders' intention is, at the end of the year or the end of the situation, he want to gain a low profit upon his investment. He rather bothers, he doesn't involve in internal matters of the organization. Public or private limited companies organized by the shares, where the shareholders want only the dividend or profit maximization. In order to increase that one, internally the manager's capabilities or the manager's skills are more important rather than the owner's issue. So that was highlighted by the managerial theories of the firm. So although profit plays an important role in the organization, so these theories as well as no longer sees that a solo or dominating goal of the firm. Means only profit is not only the goal of the organization. So every organization has primary and secondary objectives. Primarily we feel that to expansion or to have the name and fame, organization requires a profit. But it doesn't mean the whole of the organization involves in getting the profit, whatever they do. But here what they do is they have another goals like public utilities, or maybe the increasing the capabilities of the workers, or self-satisfaction to the workers, increasing managerial capability, expansion of the organizations. So lot of other goals are also involved along with profit maximization. So these managerial theories want to explain that not a profit maximization is only a part of the firm, and other also plays an important role like a managerial skills and other things, which we can identify that other possible aims like sales maximization or growth of the organization is also one of the important thing in case of this managerial theories. So these managerial theories has been propounded by three types of famous authors. One may be Baumol's. He has given a theory of sales and revenue maximization. Means it's a part of the total theory of the firm. So managerial theories itself is divided into three types. So the first type of theory has been provided by the Baumol's. So his theory was a theory of sales revenues maximization. And the second theory was provided by the Maris, where his theory was given by the growth maximization model. And now we can see that Williamson's and his theory regarding this managerial theory was managerial discretionary theories. So in case of showing the impact of managerial skills upon the organization, the three authors has given their own theories. So let us see a small introduction and implications of each of the theories propounded by the Baumol's, Maris and Williamson's. So we goes to the first theory of Baumol's theory of sales maximization. So Professor Baumol, who is an economist, and also he written as a book called as a Business Behavior, Value and Growth, which propounded the theory of sales maximization. Means the book written by the Baumol relating to the value and growth. So what type of behavioral selves of the business, attitude of the business will create a positive impact for the value and future sustainability and growth of the organization has been given in his book. So which has been propounded this sales maximization theory. So the main aim of this sales maximization theory is the firm should maximize, means increase the sales. Maximization in the sense increasing the sales. So by sales he meant that sales means whatever he want to say that the total revenue earned by the sale of the goods. Means selling maximizing means increasing the sales. So when we increase the sales, what happens? We'll get more revenue from the external environment. So sales maximization means more or increase of the total revenue is meant by the author. So that is why the goal is referred that Baumol's theories of the goal of the organization must and should be having the sales maximization. And one thing we should accept in this theory that this theory also involves in reaching the profit maximization. Why? Because increasing of the sales means increasing the revenue. So increasing the revenue itself will tells us that increased profits. So the sales maximization also mixes the topic of the internal goal of the organization, that is the profit maximization. So we have to accept that one also. So here the goal of the firm is to become the maximizing the sales revenue rather than the total maximization of profits. Means it maybe indicates a level of profit but not totally profit oriented. It's increasing or providing welfare measures to the sales executives and sales flourishment in the external organization. So, in the words of Baumol, where we can say the sales maximization goals says that the manager of the firm seeks to maximize their sales revenue subjected to the constraints of earnings in a satisfactory profits. Means whatever he want to implicate in the sales maximization was we want to increase or maximize the sales by increasing the revenue. So these increased revenue must and should be subjected to the constraint, means we should have a satisfactory profits. Increasing the sales means we should not sell the goods for loss. But we have a one constraint saying that yes, it should be satisfactory when getting somewhat of the little bit of the profit, where the profit motive should also be given importance in case of the sales maximization, which was propounded by Baumol. So, the Baumol raised in his theory or as a book of behavior of value and growth, he raised the questioning of validity of profits. So, for the maximizing or objective of the profits, we have some disadvantages, that is there no clarity of the profits or in the tenure and no clarity. Sometimes the profit maximization is a static one. But he says that regarding having some disadvantages, he want to give some improved validity of the profit, where was objective of the firm is internally having the profit maximization. So he stressed that regarding the competitive markets. So the competitive markets or the firms rather than aim to maximize the revenue through maximization of the sales, means external markets or the external competitive firms are aiming to increase the revenue by increasing the sales. Competitively, they want to show some favorable of their product. Maybe good in case of price, maybe good in features or less price. So whatever they want to show and they want to maximize the sales. So according to him, the sales volume, not the profit volume, determines the leadership in the market. Means he says that the sales volume is a thing which says that the competitor, what profits earn is internally of the organization. Why? Because we know the price and plus profit range. Yes, cost plus profit will get the price. So this profit activity is internal of the organization. That's why how much profit earned is known by the internal people. But externally, when I want to get a leadership in the competitive market, 100% I has to examine that how much sales I have done in the external market. That makes the leadership in the competitions. That's why this Baumol, whatever he want to say is, we has to move towards the increase in the sales volume, but not towards what amount of the volume or what volume of the profits we have been reached. And he also stressed that large organization where in case of like public or private limited companies, the ownership and the management will be separate. As we know, the management is done by the group of people, directors or the managers, but ownership is the investment which has been provided by the investors. So here we can also say that manager's goals and ownership goals may be a slight differs. So as an owner, he always focus upon the profit maximization. But as a manager, he want to go his organizational goal. As a sales manager, he want to increase the sales. So whatever may be the manager's goal is benefit is linked with the sales volume, and he want to increase his salary by getting incentives by increasing the sales, rather than he is not at all related what amount of the profits that organization is getting. Means here it is clarifyly we can say clarifyly saying that manager's goal is to get a more benefited from the organization by increasing the sales, but he doesn't have the intention what range of profits does the organization is earning. So this is regarding to the Baumol's theory, saying that it is in a like sales maximization which flourished or exemplified the market giving as a profit motive is also internal reason, but becoming market competitors and welfare of the managers and incentivized workers as the main aim of Baumol's theory of firm in managerial expectation. And now we comes to the second theory of this managerial link, saying that Mary's growth maximization model. So Maris is also one of the economists who has given the theory relating to this managerial implication. So Maris want the organizational growth. So he directly or indirectly want to say that work is worship. So further, the workplace principles or workers' activity or attitudes was given more importance by the Maris maximization model. So here, working of the principles of segregation of managers means Maris propounded that differentiation. Already we have owners and the managers or the two category of the people in the organization. Why? Because it was separated in the segregation. Yes. So he propounded that owners or the shareholders and they aimed at getting the profits and market share. Means they always sees that what amount of the profit we are getting and what in the shareholding, what price increased, market price increased for their share or not through goodwill or other activities. They want to verify as the shareholders profit and market share. But whereas the managers, they aim at salary, job security and their growth. Means organizational growth was intended by the managers or the owners who has been taken part in the organization. So they always impressed that when we have a good managerial skills, then we can explain or accomplish their skills or apply the skills in the organization, and we have a better work, and that work provide us a good salary, job securities, and automatically organizational growth will enhance the manager's goal. So the two sets here, one is the shareholders as a owners, as a managers. So these two sets of the people achieving these goals, achieving their both the goals, means as shareholders profit maximization and managers as an increased salary or growth of the organization, to be balanced in the Maris propounded growth maximization model. So in his model, which is, he says that independent on the growth rate of the demand for the firm product, that is GD, that is gross or firm's demand or product demand, and growth rate of the capital supplied for the organization, means growth in the demand and growth in the capital supplied. So both has to be matched. Hence, the organizational or firm's growth will be enhanced. Means we have to identify that what is the demand for the firm, their goods and workers, and how to get it. And with that, what type of capital or amount supplied in order to fulfill the demand for the goods. When both are being matched here, automatically those will be enhancing the firm's total growth. So that is the firm's balanced growth. We can say, according to the Mary, the balanced growth is when demand of the product will be matched with the growth of capital supplied at a same rate. Means both this GD and GC, that is growth product demand and growth demand must and should be at a same rate. Then organizational growth is also be possible. So, for that, Mary says there are some constraints or what we can say like disadvantages or there, which will enhance for the growth, balancing growth of the organization. So, these constraints may be of like managerial constraints and financial constraints. So, first we will enhance or see that what are the managerial constraints which come across the theory of the firm. So, the firstly, managerial constraints varies stressed on the importance of the role of human resource in achieving the organizational objectives. Once the manager want to go for importance when we see the constraints of managerial means human resource here. So what qualities does the manager is having? So is human resource objectives are matching with organizational objectives has to be identified. For that, we have an expertization in case of recruitment. Means, for example, the HRM, if I want a finance HRM, then I have to identify the expert in financial management, not rather than in marketing management. Means, here we have to select a perfect or the correct person in the correct position. So, according to the Maris, he says that skills, expertization, efficiency and sincerity of the team managers or plays a vital growth for the organization or firms. Means once the team managers or the managers are having a good skills and expertise in their work and working efficiently and sincerely, so they automatically make their followers, the total team, to be worked in the same sense such that the qualities which are having exceptionally in case of all the people, team manager will expose the same qualities from his team. So when these all the people, group of people is having good expertized qualities, automatically they complete the work in a good environment and vital growth of the organization will be possible. And along with that, non-availability of the managerial skill sets increasing the size creates a growth or the constraint growth. Means if these type of skills, expertization, efficiency, sincerity may be having with manager, but that much of skilled persons are not available in the team, then manager also can't work in a vital manner. So that's why if non-availability of these skilled personalities or the human resource are there, automatically it becomes one of the disadvantage for the growth of the organization. And along with that, organization on their higher level of growth may faces constraints in skill ceiling among existing employees. Means here it is so simple that what are the existing employees when innovation changes or maybe growth when organization is going faster, then automatically internal working activities will changes. Innovation plays an important role. So the existing people will become outdated. So we have to make giving through training and other recruitment things. Means when we provide the training measures, automatically the existing employees will also be boosted and known the innovative techniques. For this we can say the example that as this computerization has been innovatively introduced in banking sector maybe in 2000, but it has taken for 10 to 12 years to get all the existing employees of the bankers trained and adopted to the computerized working. So now after 2020, we are able to identify each and every banker is consisting of a computerized system. Means it was taken a long period of 15 to 20 years to adopt each and every banker to the latest computerized technology. So it is also one of the constraint. Means as human resources, existing employees should be sealed with whatever coming updated technologies. And the next one is newer recruitment used to increase the size of the managerial pools with the desired skills. Means if we have go for new recruitment, yes, so we can't remove the existing employees and the newer people will come. Means the organizational cost, that is human resource cost payments will also be increased. But very large pool of the people will be there with the desired skills. Means already old people also known to that one and we hire the new one. So both becomes a large pool of people where the money will be wasted. So that's why this is also, and hiring large number of new recruitment is also one of the constraint in case of marriage. However, by examining the above managerial factors, we can identify that new recruitment will lack the experience to make the quicker decisions. Maybe when I want to remove the old people and take any new stuff, but experience is also very much important in order to handle the organization in case of crisis. So at that point, quick decisions are also cannot be taken by the newer recruited people, as they are lacking the experience or they doesn't face the situations. So at this purpose, it poses as a another constraint for the organization. So the Maris want to implicate that we should take a perfect decision in case of hiring the human resources or impact of the role of the human resources in the managerial constraint. And the next disadvantages or the constraints we can adopt in the financial manner. So as the organizational goes on, the financial needs or capital requirements will also increase in the organization. So these financial or the capital research suggest requirement increases, the organization has to get more funds from externally or internally. So Maris has been suggested that prudent financial policy must and should be there based upon the three important ratios. Means every organization, in order to avoid the financial constraints or the lack of the money, they have to go for checking the limits of some financial ratios which are given for the growth of the organization. So in order to prove these discretionary managers, we are normally create the trade-off between a preferred moderate. Means here we should have to trade off some sort of financial abilities. So the financial ratios like debt equity ratio, that is D by E, means what percentage of debt should be there and what percentage of equity should be there in the capital structure. So we have the R1, that is ratio 1, saying that the important we has to identify is a sufficient at the stiffed financial or equity ratio, that is debt equity ratio. So here equity should be less and debt should be more. Why? Because more debt creates a responsibility for the managers to work efficiently in the organization. So that's why organizations, when they want to see for the financial constraints, a good or the perfect matching of debt equity ratio to be maintained. And next important ratio relating to this was moderate liquidity ratio. Liquidity ratio means the money or the cash, that is working capital management, where the ratios must should have constant money in my hand. Means working capital means money required for day-to-day activities. So for that it should be in liquidate form. Whenever we require, we are able to go for the liquidity, giving the money. So we can't stop the little expenses or day-to-day expenses. So for that 100% moderate means maximum money to be kept in the organization for required or needed utilization. So that is the second thing we should verify for financial shiftness in the organization. And the third important one is moderate retained profits ratio. So retained profits ratio means, already I have said in last video, that is dividend. In case of dividend ratio, we have the payment one and decision. Maybe I already have said that there are three financial decisions in the financial management: investment decision, financial decisions, and dividend decision. In the dividend decision means what amount of the dividend we are called as payment ratio, that is payout ratio to be giving the ratio to the shareholders, means profit to be shared to the shareholders, we'll call it as payout ratio, and some amount we keep within the organization, we'll call it as retained ratio, means the amount which are keeping within the organization. Why? Because total profits we cannot give to the shareholders. Why? Because internal requirement and internal expansion and innovative requirements will be there in the form of capital. So some part of the profits will be retained in the organization, saved, and they are further utilized in the organization. So this percentage should be more important for the organization rather than going outside and getting the money for interest. So this is also one of the important aspects to be considered in order to go for the financial considerations. So if organization is maintaining these three ratio in a perfect manner, the organization will not go into the crisis or financial requirements. So these are the two things where the Maris want to explain in his theory, saying that human resource was very much important for the maintenance of the organization, and in that management and financial considerations to be taken into the care. And the third theory, where we can say like given by the Williamson's managerial discretionary theory. So these managerial or utility discretionary theory is called as managerial utility theory, which was developed separately by Beryl Means and Galbith and Wilman Sons. So these were the three economists who has been developed this theory separately, that is managerial utility maximization theory. So this theory was famously known as managerial discretionary theory. So this bases upon the concept of the shareholders or the owners of the organization, and also the concept of firm and managers, where shareholders go for the dividend, managers go for the salary. So what we have seen here, the two things, one is the owners or the shareholders want higher dividend, as we have seen in the last video, like payout ratio. So dividend, whatever we want, the shareholders want a more amount of the profits to be issued in the form of dividend. But on the other hand, the workers or internal organizational aspects are there with a different motives other than the profit maximization. So as organization achieves profits, then the managers, workers, whoever are there, they want to increase their wage rate or income. So they are aspiring to get more pay for the work whatever they have been done. So here we can see that manager achieves a level of profit that pay in the satisfactory dividend to the shareholders, and it still ensures the growth of the organization. So both has to be maintained. Wilman says that both to be handled in case of the his theory of managerial discretionary theory. Means discretion should not be there between them. Both should be get justice, where these shareholders to be satisfied, and at the same way the managers or the workers to also get satisfaction, which will sustain the organization in the long run. So according to the Williams says that marginal utility we can express in the function, saying that U equal to the function of S, M and ID, where we can read it as marginal utility means it is a F is the function of additional expenditure upon the staff, managerial involvement and discretionary investment. Means out of the profits they are earning, they want to verify that these managerial utilities means what the managers has been done, for that they require some satisfaction. They will get satisfaction when some additional expenditure was spent, maybe for increasing the salaries or providing other increments, benefits or some discretionary things or discretionary incentives has been given to the staff. So that is the maximum utility what the managers want. And along with that, we can say like U is manager satisfaction or utility. And we can say S is the additional expenditure what the organization is spending upon the staff. And when we can see that M is the managerial involvement, means like incentives. And ID is the extra amount of discretionary amount what they are spending for welfare of the managers or the workers. So in this Williamson's has been says that the managerial utility function where it maximizes the managers rather than the profit of the firm. Means whatever they want is total profit what they earn cannot be given total amount to the in the form of dividend to the shareholders. Some amount to be kept aside which will maximize means gives satisfaction to the managers or the other discretionary people rather than the profit maximization of the firm. So these managers will expect to follow having some policies, that HRM policy, what amount, already I said some retained earnings, RE. So what sort of amount was retained in the organization and that amount was utilized for the welfare of the managers where they maximizes the components of this marginal utility as we have seen above. So in this Williamson's theory, so whatever they want to say is that along with profit maximization, internal satisfaction of the managerial people and utility or the internal welfare of the workers and the manager is also important, and their satisfaction will also plays a positive role in the organization which will increases the indirectly profits for the organization. So in this he want to say some of the important points like expansion of the staff. So when the managers want to increase the quality of the members what they are reporting, so the increases of the salaries will be there. That's why they want some sort of securities, prestige or some amount to be kept aside for want of or increasing the salaries. And another one relating to this involvement is the manager utilities will depends upon the managerial involvement. Means it includes like facilities or incentives or maybe the entertainment allowances or luxurious office surroundings, phones, cars, which will increases the name and prestige of the institution and the prestige of the position of that person as a manager. Providing a car gives a more impact for looking at this. Yes, they will provide other incentives, creates the prestige for the organization and also the individual who are working there. So for that, here we can say like this increase in managerial involvement is also one of the plus point for the organization. And along with this discretionary power of the investment, like it is like normal payments, normal salaries. So based beyond that, a manager's positions where they have providing computers, laptops or providing some additional facilities in their work environment. So maybe it is an investment for the organization, but it creates an impact upon the workers and the manager that organization is providing a good work environmental facilities such that that investment will give self-satisfaction. That is the main thing. Many IT companies, once they entered, first of all, they will provide the laptop for their workers or maybe the people to do on their work. So no IT company will ask to get their own laptop for working. So in this way, the discretionary power of the investment will also plays an important role. So these are the some of the important points where the Williamson's has been given in his theory, saying some discretionary to be maintained and enhance the managers happy, which will aid directly and indirectly creates the wealth for the organization. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.